and the rest of the show, but we still got one thing. We still got one thing to get to, and that is Curveball of the Week here. And I'm back after a week hiatus. Ethan was not able to make it. He's still vacation mode, so I am taking Curveball of the Week here. And I don't know what the weather is like out in your neck of the woods, Grant, but right now it's kind of that time of the year where you got to wear like a winter coat in the morning, and then by the afternoon you're wearing a t-shirt. It's nice out, and the weather, the changes, the grass kind of dries out. It messes with my sinuses. I
can
probably
hear it
sound
now.
pretty stuffed up right now, and got a little bit of a head cold going on where throat dries out. I got a humidifier, feeling better, but I think one more day of some Allegra D, I'll be ready to roll for Friday night for our game. But with the weather changing, that also means soup season is upon us.
Oh.
And everybody loves a good soup. So my question this week here is chili a soup?
It's a good question. And actually, it's funny you mentioned this, Dylan, because I had a conversation this week with Derek at work about soup and how we both said, yeah, hey, soup is good. We like soup. I'm not going to go out of my way to make a soup, but if I'm having dinner with someone and they say soup is the only part of the meal, I'm upset because soup cannot fill me up. So just that's kind of a random sidebar there from a conversation that Derek and I had. But is chili soup? No, it's not. Just like how a hot dog's not a sandwich, it's a hot dog. Chili is chili. I don't really think you can put it in a category with other stuff and lump it into one thing. I think it's its own thing. With the ground beef, the beans, the onions, the tomatoes, maybe some peppers and some other seasonings on there. That's not soup, if you ask me. I think chili is chili.
Absolutely, I 1,000% agree with you that chili is chili, and I don't know how that even came up, but it just popped in my head because I feel like I've seen that discussion before, and similar to you, Grant. It is such a good food that it deserves the category of its own.
Its own category.
Chili is chili.
Chili is chili. I mean, and I'm glad you kind of brought this up because every year around this time when the temperature dips, it takes me back to that Seinfeld scene when George goes, "Hold on now, my mind has shifted towards soup." It just takes me there. And here's the thing. If someone says, yeah, we're having chili for dinner, you know what? You have a little cornbread on the side, maybe some honey, some cinnamon roll, something like that. You can have a legit meal off of chili. But I can't have a legit meal off of soup. I'm not 6 years old anymore. Oh yeah, Mom, I'll take the grilled cheese and the tomato soup for dinner. Get that nonsense out of here. But if someone says, hey, we got cornbread and chili, I'm in.
Yes. And I'm a little bit new to the cornbread and chili game. I just tried it last year, and big fan. I approve. But back to what you talked about with like the soup. I'm also not I'm not gonna make a lot of soup unless like I'm sick or something. I need some like chicken noodle, and usually it's just the soup packets. But my mom makes a lot of soups, and there's not many better texts I get than, "Hey, I made you some chicken noodle soup or some chicken tortilla soup or Nefla soup or vegetable soup. Do you want it?" I was like, hell yeah, I do.
Hell yeah, I'm hungry. Hell yeah, I want some, Mom.
When it comes to these soups here, is you have to have a sandwich with it. Because like you said, a soup is not going to fill you up, but you get like a nice summer sausage sandwich or a ham sandwich or something along those lines. That soup is perfect.
And I think the best soup, or maybe my favorite soup to have, I'm showing my Minnesota bias here, but my mom, she makes one hell of a wild rice soup. And
I'm not gonna lie. And maybe it's just that I've never really had it and I didn't grow up on it. Not a huge fan of chicken and wild rice soup. I had it a couple of times in the dining center.
Yep.
But just never did anything for me. I'm not.
And
Call me a hater or not, but maybe I just need some of Mary's chicken and wild rice soup, and that might turn the corner.
I think that's what it is, dude. And then also, like I said, I'm not kidding you when I said wild rice. It's kind of a Minnesota thing. Like, what do we love in this state? Of course, during the summertime when you're having brats, what's a popular brat? Wild rice brats. Who would think that? People in Minnesota do. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a thing?
That's a
wild
thing.
Rice?
Wild, yeah. Yeah, pieces of wild rice inside a brat. Like I said, I can't explain it. It's a Minnesota thing. So during
I had a while back when we did our coaches fantasy draft. We had where it was hosted at. Our host made sloppy joes that had rice in it. Have you ever had that?
No, I haven't, but I'm kind of intrigued.
And it was actually pretty good.
I'm kind of intrigued, but yeah. You come down to Mankato, it's 15 degrees outside. There's 30 inches of snow on the ground through the whole year.
Ugh.
Okay. But now hear me out. But when Mary makes that chicken wild rice soup, it just hits, man. And it just feels right. You got the big hooded sweatshirt on, your sweatpants, your high socks. You're dressed winter. You probably got a ball cap on. I know Daryl does because he's got that big bald head of his. And he's got to stay warm in the house.
Out there just catching strays, dang.
But yeah, that wild rice soup.
What did do to deserve that one?
Oh God, nothing. But God, he's gonna love hearing it. And it's funny. This man loves wintertime. He's gonna turn the house down to 65 degrees or something. He's gonna say, "Well, I want to keep it cool for the dog." And then that dude's going to have his tall winter socks on. He's going to have some long johns. He's going to have a pair of sweatpants tucked into his socks, another pair of sweatpants underneath there. He's going to have two coats on and sweatshirts, and he's going to be all bundled up on the couch, and he can't see anything. He's going to look over at Mary, and she's going to be like, "Oh, Mary, I'm kind of cold." And dead ass, my father will look at her right in the eye and say, "Hey, well, Mary, is your shirt tucked in?"
Well, now that you brought that up, that brings up another curveball question here, but which I'll save for the next time I'm up.
Okay.
But I think with that, that wraps up episode 96 here of the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. We'll have the segments of the show out hopefully on Friday. I know I've been lacking there lately with on the timing of it. Hopefully have the episode out on the social medias by right away. I've also been lacking on that as well. Just busy time, coaching football season, regular job, just all sorts of things coming up. It's exciting times. Excited to watch another 24 hours of football on Saturday and Sunday. And we'll check us out on our social medias, Three Guys Talking Ball podcast on Facebook and on YouTube. Make sure you go like and subscribe there. And then on Twitter, or X, Instagram, and TikTok is at 3GTB Podcast. Make sure you follow us there as well. We'll be posting segments of the show. I'll be posting my bets of the week on there as well. And that wraps up episode 96 of the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. We will be back for episode 97 next week.